So the Kingsdem, this entire series, is a celebration of our journey through 10 years of marriage. It is not a marriage counseling series. It is not even really for like saying, oh, we know how to make things work. Um, any of the things that really work in our marriage, I think we would both confess, you can only give credit to God, because half of the time we don't even know what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking back on it, sometimes we see, there's value in some of the decisions we've made, and some of the ways that we've handled situations. And yeah, that's why we talk about it. And that's why, we decided to share these conversations with other people.
And
Sorry.
especially with what we're going to be talking about right now, it's some tough topics, and a lot of people have gone through way more difficulties than we have.
Yeah.
So even in sharing our story, we understand that everybody has their own experiences.
Yeah.
This is ours. So we're not putting ourselves above or below or comparing to anybody else. This is just our story.
Yeah.
I've heard that there are, hot topic things, I guess, that cause more challenges in marriage than other things. Sex, finances, communication issues, and then those will lead to infidelity and other big issues, right? But I just wanted to touch on maybe those main three things for us and how we have navigated those things so far.
So how have we been challenged in our relationship because of any of those three things?
Yeah.
Communication,
or even other things that might
sex,
come to
and
mind.
finances.
Yeah.
Want to start with sex?
I think sex is the easy one to start with because we've spoken about it before.
Right.
If you have seen any of our lives before, but I had said, I think you had asked me what's the hardest thing that we had to deal with.
Yeah,
in our marriage at
you
that
said
point.
it was the hardest part of your marriage
Yeah.
in the first 5 or 7 years or whatever it was at that point.
The first, let's say the first half of the
First half,
marriage, that was the one thing that I thought if it wasn't included in marriage would be perfect. Like why is this here? What's the point?
Yeah.
So sex is a beautiful, wonderful thing, and I understood that, gift from God, procreation, enjoyment, but the enjoyment part was not there for me.
Yeah.
It was just a painful experience. It wasn't fun. And I think when you focus on that, then the next time you're like, oh, it's probably
Kind of
gonna,
tense towards
and
it.
it just makes it worse. I think because we were both virgins going into it, and maybe you see on TV or you hear from other people, oh, it's just so wonderful. You assume that it's just automatically.
Every part of it is just.
And
yeah.
there are people that experience it like that. But for us, it took, I guess, more work to get to learn each other.
Right.
You were very patient. You were very, very patient with me.
It wasn't
for
easy
sure.
though.
Yeah, I think it was good also for you to learn to be patient with me in those
Yeah,
early years.
I actually I would say for me those first years it wasn't easy because it was hard to not take it personally. I think at first we weren't communicating well about what the issue was. So it was you had your feelings towards it and responded according to how you felt. Obviously, I had an expectation, and then you see the response, and it's kind of like, yeah, well, she don't like me, maybe, so there's a lot of that.
I think a big part of it was also I didn't know myself enough to say, okay, this is
yeah.
where you can help me out. I just don't know anything. I just
Yeah.
know it's not working.
Right.
And but yeah, I think.
But I think that changed with communication.
Now we figured it out.
How?
maybe talking, maybe time, you not pressuring me,
Yeah.
and for me to be free to say, okay, this is important in our marriage, it's important to you,
Yeah.
and I can change my mindset about it and try to enjoy, because it's not like it was totally devoid of enjoyment.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, let's enjoy what I can enjoy, and say, okay, I'm not liking this, can we try that?
I think for me, us being able to talk openly about it, was the opportunity I had to express, hey, listen, this is how your resistance makes me feel.
Yeah.
And for you to also say, yeah, but this is how I feel about it right now. And these are the things that I'm struggling with. And for me to be sensitive to that and realize, okay, so her resistance is not a rejection of me.
You. Yeah.
But this is a difficult process. And it's something that I can be more careful, more patient, more gentle with her with regards to.
That helped a lot.
Yeah.
Your response, you're not like, well, you married, no, you gotta do this.
Yeah.
You gotta do this every day, every week, whatever. There was no, that wasn't there. So I had the time to take my time.
Right.
And to say to you, all right.
Yeah. We've gotten pretty good at it.
I also think that it was important, and this is not just for sex, but I think in general in marriage, that I knew this is something that isn't working, but this is something that we are supposed to be doing together.
Right.
So we have to figure it out. It wasn't a case of, well, let me go somewhere else, or even for you to have gone somewhere else,
Right.
and then where would that have left me?
Correct.
You wouldn't have taken the time to know me. You would have gotten your desires fulfilled somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I think both of us had the attitude of, this is us.
Right.
We are doing this, working through this together.
Correct.
And so we have to figure it out.
Right.
I think if we didn't have that attitude, maybe it wouldn't have gone any better.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's not to say that there's not a real temptation to say, okay, I can't find what I'm looking for here.
Yeah.
Let me look for it somewhere else.
So that isn't just sex. That's
Yeah.
so many other things in marriage.
For sure.
Even if it's difficult to get it in the marriage now, it is worth taking the time to trying to get there.
Correct.
Trying to figure it out together.
Yeah.
If you go outside, then I won't need you anymore.
Yeah.
So I remember you asked me a question the other day. You said, how comes you don't get upset with me when I don't have no money?
Yeah. When the bill's here and we ain't got the money to pay.
Yeah. And I think I said, because I understand. And maybe that's where the communication comes in as well. I understand what is happening.
Right.
You have not just shown up and I'd be like, you have any food, or did you go to the supermarket? Remember we needed this thing, and you're just like, nah, don't worry about that. Don't worry, I will deal with that. Like, you actually let me know what's happening. And I understand your work as well. I understand the ICF ministry, and I really think it's important. So I think if you were doing something and maybe I didn't quite understand, I just know that we just here. Or even if you had some big job somewhere, and you were always at work, and I just felt abandoned and I didn't understand, maybe your boss pressuring you and you have to, just the fact that you are letting me in and letting me know day to day or week to whatever what's happening, it really helps.
So with regards to navigating through that, again, it came down to communication. It came down to Aleeca saying to me sometimes, listen, in as much as she said that she knows what's going on, it came down to Aleeca saying to me, I am not earning the salary, but I need to know what's happening. I can't just be here, and if I need something, then I gotta come and ask you for it and that kind of thing. Like, I need to be involved in the entire process. And yeah, not to say that I couldn't have figured that out on my own, but it really helped me because she said that to me. And it caused me to be mindful of her a lot more in the decisions that we had to make financially. It caused me to consult her a lot more too. And just to inform her when something happened, good or bad, just to be like, hey, look at what's going on now. It is a vulnerable thing to do, where you have to come to another adult and kind of say to them, I need you to treat me this way, right? In order for me to be okay in relating to you. But that's what sometimes is necessary. Sometimes we grumble and complain under our breath that the person doesn't see that this is what I need, or that this is how they're hurting me. But yeah, the fact is they don't see, and sometimes they need somebody to say it. To just, I mean, it's not easy. I'm not saying that it's easy, but sometimes I've seen how it has helped me to come to Aleeca humbly, not to start a fight, but to come to Aleeca humbly and say, it really hurts me. It affects me in this way when you do X, Y, Z. I even sometimes to be able to say, even as I'm saying this to you right now, I don't feel it if you are hearing me or listening to what I'm saying. And to make sure that the person is really listening and to get it.
Just now when you were talking about being heard or being seen, I am not working, right? Again, this wasn't my plan, and this is where the Lord has led me, and this is where I think I should be. Right? But I still want you to see how I contribute financially.
Right.
So I would put effort into finding the best deals, making sure, honey, the flea market is this Saturday. I need you to do this thing, keep the children so that I can go and make sure I get all these deals so that their clothes are covered for the next few months, whatever. And for you to appreciate those things. How I am financially helping our family by trying to be frugal, not being extravagant with my spending, still trying to get our needs met in the way that I can. So figuring out how to DIY stuff, sitting on YouTube and learning stuff, and then I want you to see that. That fine, I'm not actually bringing in dollars, but you don't have to be giving out dollars for this stuff because of what I'm doing here. So
definitely.
To be seen and heard in that way, I think is very important too.
Yeah, man. Even though communication has proven to be very helpful in us navigating through most of the challenges that we've faced, we can't deny that sometimes communication, or at least the way how we communicate, can itself present challenges to the relationship. In terms of, somebody said something at the wrong time or in the wrong place or in front of the wrong person. Yeah,
I know that well. I think I was a private person, or I think I'm identifying it more as insecurity than wanting privacy, because here I am telling you all my business anyways. But so early on, I remember a time when we were out. So I think maybe it was mostly your friends, because I wouldn't have had much of my own friends here. So I think we were out and we were just having a good time, and you made a joke at my expense. Ordinarily it would have just been a joke, but at that point it was just like, what will all these people think of me? And I didn't want to be embarrassed. And I remember saying to you afterwards, because in the moment you kind of just respectfully, okay, that happened. We got home and I said, don't ever do that again. Don't ever say something negative about me in public, in the way that you did that, and you never have after that. Maybe I don't know if you slipped up once or twice, but you have intentionally listened to my request and done that. I know now if I slip up or something, I know he's not gonna mention it. He's not gonna use this just for the sake of conversation.
Feel safe.
Yeah. I'm not gonna be embarrassed by him. It's one of the ways that you as a husband, you have taught me how to change as well, because you've listened to me. You've respected my requests. You try to understand where I'm coming from. Maybe to you it wasn't a big deal,
right?
But you still understand, okay, it's a big deal to her. Let me temper what I say and how I say things. And then it allows me as the wife to see, wait, he really does care about me. Because I know he is not me. He has to feed off what I tell him.
Right.
And he's making the effort to do that.
Yeah.
So in so many ways, I would then look out for ways that I can do that for him. How can I care for him? He really cares about me. How can I be gracious when he's made a mistake instead of using it as a joke? You know?
Yeah.
I think husbands can, because the Bible talks about husbands leading their wives. They're the head of the house. So that's one of the ways that they can do it. Not as if I'm a child and you have to tell me what to do and da. But his example, his doing things shows me how to do it.
Yeah.
Encourages me, makes me want to serve him because I know he loves me. That balance between husbands love your wife, women submit to your husband. I want to submit to him because I know he loves me.
Right.
You know, if I had doubts about how much he loves me, then I'd be like, well, he made the joke on me last time and I tell him I don't want to, he did, so I go and say whatever I want to say when, you know, you kind of get that tension.
Yeah, and I think again, I think it's not because there is no temptation to do that. I think there's a real sense in which there is a temptation to, you know, I can get my chance. Anytime you feel offended, it's kind of like,
to defend yourself.
Let me hold on to this.
Yeah.
Let me either use this now to fight, or let me hold on and I can get my chance to get them back, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you think about that, is that the way that you want to be living with the person that you're supposed to be
for the rest of your life,
spiritually and otherwise?
Just
like
getting back at each other all the time. Yeah.
See my wife, one of these days I can get you back for what she did. It's like, yeah. So so I think for me, that's how I've been able to help myself kind of think through those things from the perspective of, my job is to love you, not to win. My job is to love you. So I think that helps sometimes to overlook offenses. That helps to feel like something don't really make much sense, but is important to her. Okay, it's not going to hurt me to do it this way. It's not going to hurt me to not be the funniest guy in the room, even though this joke will be killer right now. It's like, yeah, I don't know that Aleeca would appreciate if I say that, so I'll leave it out. Just for me, knowing that I've made a choice to protect my wife, protect her dignity, her emotional state, or whatever it is. I just been able to step in and shield her at this point in time, like a loving husband should. And that feels good, I'll be honest with you. But I wouldn't have been in that position had she not been honest or open about saying, I don't like when you do this. I don't even think you explained all of it then. I think over the years I've had to come to put two and two together in different times where you've said, I don't like this, I don't like that, to figure out, okay, this is really
what it actually
what
means.
she needs.
Yeah.
And this is how I can help her. And then it helps me then, even in situations where you haven't said, I don't want you to do this, I can figure out, yeah, she probably wouldn't like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so that really helped with, as you said, as we had touched on before, it helps with the sex.
Yeah.
And it helps with the finances, and it helps with any other issue that comes up. So we would have already mentioned the infertility. And sometimes I don't want to share something. I don't want to say how I feel again.
Yeah.
But I realized, no, he needs to understand this, and I have to take my time and get to a place or find a way to communicate it. Sometimes I'd email him.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't find the words, or it would be too emotional. I feel emotional now. To say something, to actually look into his eyes and say, I can't do that. Let me find a way to say it, because it still has to be said.
Yeah.
You know, that concept I think is huge. It still has to be done.
Right.
Sex. It still has to be said. We still have to live. So let's not pretend that there's no money.
Right.
We still have to. So
yeah.
I don't know. We should get a name for that concept of, we have to continue walking. We have to continue swimming like Dory. We have to. So let's figure this out.
Yeah.